Have you ever wondered, does he actually love me? Or does he just love having me around? Because here's the thing, a lot of men are great at showing up. They text back, they take you to dinner, they say all the right things, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're all in. Real love, the kind that lasts, the kind that transforms your life. It looks different, it feels different, and most importantly, it acts different. In fact, 1 Corinthians 13 doesn't describe love as a feeling at all. It describes it as a behavior. Love is patient. Love is kind. It doesn't envy. It doesn't boast. It keeps no record of wrongs. That's not emotion. That's action. And that's exactly what we're talking about today. So today, I'm going to give you 5 things that a man will do only if he truly loves you. Not kind of loves you. Not loves the idea of you, but truly, deeply, genuinely loves you. And if your man is doing these 5 things, hold on to him, because he is the real deal. Let's dive in. Number 1. He makes you feel safe enough to be imperfect. Here's something I've noticed over a decade about love and relationships. One of the greatest gifts a man can give a woman is this: the freedom to be fully human, not the highlight reel version of you, not the you that's perfectly put together, always agreeable, always on, but the real you, the one who gets anxious, who has bad days, who cries over things that might seem small, who makes mistakes. A man who truly loves you doesn't just love your best self. He loves you through your hard self. You know what that looks like. It looks like him staying calm when you're overwhelmed. It looks like him not keeping score when you're going through a rough patch. It looks like him saying, "Hey, I've got you. We're going to figure this out together." And here's why this matters so much. When a man is in it for his own comfort, for ego, for convenience, the moment you stop being easy, he checks out emotionally. But a man who truly loves you, your imperfection doesn't push him away. It makes him lean in. So I want you to ask yourself, when you're not at your best, does he stay present? Or does he disappear? Because love isn't tested in the easy moments. It's revealed in the hard ones. Think about Ruth and Boaz. Boaz didn't just notice Ruth when everything was going well for her. He noticed her when she was a widowed foreigner, gleaning leftover grain just to survive. And what did he do? He told his workers to leave extra grain behind on purpose, to make her path easier. He provided safety for a woman who had nothing left to offer him. That's not attraction. That's character. That's a man whose love showed up in the hard seasons. Number 2. He fights for the relationship. Okay, this one is huge. And I see so many women miss this because conflict can feel like love sometimes, right? The passion, the intensity, the making up. But I want to draw a really important distinction for you today. There's a difference between a man who fights with you and a man who fights for you. A man who is not truly invested. When conflict shows up, he goes cold. He shuts down. He stonewalls. Or he gets defensive and makes the argument about winning. He needs to be right more than he needs you to feel heard. But a man who truly loves you, he fights for the relationship itself. When you to have a disagreement, and you will have disagreements, that's just life. He's not thinking, how do I win this? He's thinking, how do we get back to us? He's willing to say, you know what, I didn't handle that well. I'm sorry. He's willing to sit in discomfort if it means you both come out on the other side stronger. I want to tell you something I tell people all the time. Conflict in a relationship is not the problem. It's what you do with conflict that reveals everything. A man who truly loves you uses conflict as a bridge, not a weapon. Ephesians 4 verse 6 says, "Do not let the sun go down while you are still angry." That's not just spiritual wisdom. That's also relationship wisdom. A man who honors that principle isn't trying to win. He's trying to restore. He goes to bed having chosen the relationship over his ego. That's the kind of man worth holding on to. So pay attention to how he shows up when things get hard. That's not just character. That's love in action. Number 3. He invests in your dreams. I love this one, because this one separates the men who love you from the men who simply love what you do for them. A man who truly loves you genuinely cares about your life, your ambitions, your calling, the things that light you up from the inside out. He asks about your goals, and I don't mean in a polite, half-listening kind of way. I mean he remembers. He follows up. He says things like, "Hey, how did that meeting go? Did you land that client? I've been thinking about you." He celebrates your wins like they're his own wins. And here's the really powerful part. A man who truly loves you isn't threatened by your success. He's not competing with you. He's cheering for you. Because here's what I know about masculine love at its finest. A high-quality man wants a thriving partner, not a dependent one. He wants to see you flourish, and the idea of you stepping into your fullest potential doesn't intimidate him. It inspires him. Proverbs 31 describes a woman of strength and vision, someone who runs businesses, makes decisions, builds things, and you know what her husband does. Verse 28 says he rises up and calls her blessed. He's not threatened, he's proud. That's the picture of a man who loves well, one who celebrates the woman beside him rather than competes with her. Now, contrast that with a man who subtly discourages your dreams, who makes little comments that chip away at your confidence, who benefits when you stay small. That's not love. That's self-interest wearing love's clothing. The man who truly loves you is one of your greatest cheerleaders. He sees things in you that you sometimes can't see in yourself, and he calls those things out. That's the kind of love that makes you grow. Number 4, he chooses you consistently. I want to talk about something that I think is one of the most underrated signs of real love, and it doesn't show up in grand gestures. It shows up in the ordinary. A man who truly loves you chooses you again and again and again, not just when it's romantic, not just when everything is going great, but on a random Tuesday, when he's tired, when there are other options, when you're not making it particularly easy to be loved. He chooses you anyway. You know what choosing someone consistently looks like. It looks like him protecting your time. He doesn't repeatedly cancel plans or put you at the bottom of his priority list. It looks like him being present when he's with you, not just physically in the room, but actually there, eyes up, phone down, mind engaged. It looks like him introducing you into his world, his friends, his family, his life, because he's not keeping you in a separate, convenient compartment. He's integrating you. Here's a truth I share with women all the time, and it's one I want you to really let sink in. Love is not just a feeling. It's a decision made over and over again. You know, Jacob worked 7 years for Rachel, 7 years. And Genesis 29 verse 20 says those years seemed like only a few days to him because of his love for her. That's consistent, active, decided love, not a feeling he was waiting to show up, a commitment he chose to honor every single day. A man who truly loves you reflects that same spirit. He doesn't drift, he decides. And a man who truly loves you makes that decision consistently, even when it's not convenient, even when it's not perfect, even when life gets hard and messy and complicated. Butterflies are beautiful, but it's consistency that builds a life. Number 5, he pursues your heart, not just your attention. I saved this one for last because I think it might be the most important of all. There are men who want your attention, and there are men who want your heart. And from the outside, these two can look identical until they don't. A man who wants your attention loves how you make him feel. He loves the validation, the admiration, the ease of having someone who's there for him. But his investment is conditional. When things shift, when the spark settles into something deeper and quieter and more real, he loses interest because it was never about you. It was about what you gave him. But a man who wants your heart, he leans in more as time goes on. The deeper he gets to know you, the real you, the complicated you, the beautifully imperfect you, the more he wants to know. He asks you questions that go beneath the surface. He wants to understand why you are the way you are. He's curious about your past, your fears, the things that shaped you. He notices things, the little things, the way your face changes when you talk about something you love, the thing that makes you laugh when you've had a hard day. And here's what tells you everything. He doesn't just show up for the exciting chapters. He shows up for the quiet ones, the ones where you're not performing, the ones where you're just you. And in those moments, when all the sparkle is stripped away, and it's just a people being real with each other, he looks at you and he stays. That, my friend, is a man who loves you, not an idea of you, not the version of you that fits his needs, the real you. And here's what gives me chills about this. 1 Samuel 16:7 says that while man looks at the outward appearance, God looks at the heart. A man who truly loves you carries a little of that same spirit. He's not dazzled by your performance. He's moved by your person. He sees past the surface, past the presentation, all the way into who you really are, and he chooses that. So there you have it. 5 things a man will do only if he truly loves you. He makes you feel safe to be imperfect. He fights for the relationship, not against you. He invests in your dreams. He chooses you consistently, and he pursues your heart, not just your attention. Now here's what I want you to do. Take a moment and think about the man in your life, or the man you want in your life. How does he stack up? Are these the qualities you're experiencing? Are these the standards you're holding? Because you deserve all 5, not 3 out of 5, not most of the time, all 5. And I believe that with everything in me, not just as a person, but because Scripture itself says in Song of Solomon 8:7 that true love cannot be bought, cannot be drowned out, cannot be quenched. That kind of love exists, and it exists for you. And if you're not experiencing this right now, I don't want you to feel defeated. I want you to feel clear, because clarity is the beginning of everything. If this video spoke to you, do me a favor, hit that like button, because it genuinely helps more women find this content who need to hear it. And if you're new here, subscribe, because every single week I create videos to help you attract a deeply loving, committed relationship. And hey, drop a comment below. Tell me, which of these 5 resonated with you the most? I read every single one. I'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourself. You deserve it.